Yeah.
Thank you for the detailed explanation. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
It's a theoretical explanation from Suchita. So I would like to explain, if you wanted to, know more about the dynamic actions when you are going into the workspace. Okay, so you will able to see a sample applications, like from the gallery. Okay, so let us say, let me just write test the dynamic action. One name I will put it on the application, and then we can create using the fourth option. So you can see browse application gallery, and you will able to see that different types of sample apps. So this is basically for the beginners to understand how the Apex applications has been created and what sort of coding which is writing on the behind. Once you install this application, you will able to go inside and see each properties and find out it. But when a beginner, it's a little bit difficult to understand where it is writing. So for understanding the basic concept of dynamic actions, please go to the sample dynamic action app, and you can install it. Like you're clicking on this install run, then it will automatically run it on your workspace. So let me just explain, where all we are using. So you can see there are set of dynamic actions, which is predefined and created in the sample dynamic actions. Okay, so let us say let us go to the disable and enable. Basically, when you do, like when you're creating an applications, like you wanted to, certain conditions you want to disable and enable, you will able to use these options with the dynamic action. So let me, because you might know, like this is like, classical reports or interactive report. It is connected to a employee table, and then, it is fetching all the data from the Oracle database. So there's a pencil sign. So most of them knows, this pencil sign to display the form. And you can see here, this is basically like what happens is that if if the job is equal to salesman, so what is a dynamic action defined in this thing is that, like you can see like a job equal to salesman, this fires where what is happening is like the hire date and the commission. So you can see the hire date and the commission right now it is disabled. Because why? Because the job is precedent. If you change this thing to like a salesman, you can see that you will able to select this and you will able to put the commission. So this is basically like two events are happening. One is disabling and enabling. How it is done in the Apex, like if you want to see the code in the background, how it is it's applied for these boxes, you can go to like page you can go to a page, okay, page, okay, and uh, you can see go down, you can see there is a job. Okay, these are the text item which is created under a region called the maintain employee. Okay, so you can click right, you will able to see there is a create dynamic action. Okay, so when you created that, click on dynamic action, you will get like new, show and false. Okay, so what will happen is in this new, you will able to change a name. Okay, so that is what it is happening here, commission for salesman. So you click, you can see there's a commission for salesman. So you can write any name for this dynamic action. This is just an identification for the dynamic action. Then automatically there is, like two options which you can see, enable and disable. Okay. So you in this action, you will get a set of actions which you can do it. Now what is happening is like it's enable. Enabling means like what happens is we enable what? Affected elements. Affected elements means basically like commission. Okay, enable commission, and then you can go down. Okay, that settings we need to do it here. And then another options which is true, there is a hide it. So two boxes we are going to enable it at the same time. You can see when you are adding a dynamic action, there is a true and false logical part, like you can say it's a Boolean or, like a logical part, true or false. When it is true, what will be the action to be executed? When it is false, what is action to be disabled? So now you can see in the false options, I have put action as disabled from the list. And these are the predefined actions, which is already given by the Apex. Okay, so in actions you can have close region, expand tree, hide. There are a lot of things you can do a practice for it. Okay, so here you can see disable commission and disable again and commission. So same thing, like like you can also create a false conditions, or you can create a true condition instead. As I told you, like if you wanted to create a dynamic action in any of these field, you can click right and create a dynamic action. You can put a name. You can see that show true or false. By default, the true or false will be defined. Then in the center, you can see there is a action. Like what is the action? It is by default, it is show. So you have to select what you want to disable. You can select a disable so that it is coming disabled. Then you will be writing, like then you go to the false condition and do the same thing. So now let us delete this, and then I'll go back to the form. I'll also do some small exercise with you people. Okay, so you can see now I'm selecting the salesman, and then I'm getting the enable and disable button. See, for example, if I select analyst, these all both buttons will be disabled. And at the same time, you can see in the maintain employee, okay, so you could just go down, okay. In the commission, you can see now there is a true or false we already enable and disable with the action. But at the same time, how it understand that you are selecting a salesman or analyst. Okay, so there will be some conditions you need to define it. That condition will be defined. As I told you, when you are clicking right button, you will get a true or false, and then a default new, and you will be changing to any name here. And in this one, you can see that in the client side condition, you will be selecting item equal to value. There is a different types of a set of types are available. Item equal to greater than value, item is not equal to, like that. Then we will be selecting job equal to salesman. So then what will happen is, when you are selecting the job, the list item, the client serve condition will be pop up, and it shows that item equal to value. What is item equal to value? It's same thing. If the job equal to salesman, then it will enable. If it is not a salesman, if you put here as an analyst, then it will be analyst to analyst. It will show you analyst. Okay, so like you can put this is like basically a hard coding. Okay, you should know what is exactly the data, and then accordingly it will be doing it. Okay, so this is a one in the sample they have clearly explained how to enable and disable the item. Okay, so let us go back to the next option, like because you can also try the same install these applications, and I just wanted to explain where all you are going to see how you can do it. You can do one thing. You can also create a same application, and you will able to do the same step looking at the same application. Okay, so this is basically like hide and show. Hide and show is basically like disable, visible and not visible. Okay, so you go to the same like classic report, and it is clearly defined also on the top what is this action happening. Okay, so here you can see like this page, if the like the main content is like here to achieve like job equal to salesman. This fires when job page changes and checks if equal to salesman. It equals to salesman, hire date and commission page and associated labels are shown. Basically, like what is happening is, if you see here now, president, commission is not able to see here. Now, if I change it to salesman, you can see that there are few columns are enable it. Okay, so this is a basically like enabling and disabling the using the dynamic action. So same thing, like you need to define the action and define it as like visible or invisible. Okay, so let us go to the page. Okay, if you wanted to go, even if you wanted to have a go to that particular area, you can see there's a quick edit teaser. You can just click here, it will automatically take you to that. You don't need to go and check where exactly this is. Okay, so now it is pointing to job because I've selected the quick edit and I selected the job. So here what they are defined it like a dynamic action, same thing like right click they have done and create a dynamic action. Here we have put it like job equal to salesman. Okay, so here the same thing in the client side. there is an event. What is an event? Like event means there are different types of events, like like Sujita explaining. Click event is there, got focus, get focus, key release, mouse button. This is all depends upon the event, what event you wanted to like. Here, what is happening is if change means what happens is if the job is changed, that means if anybody is trying to select the list, okay, and then that's a change event. So when any changes happen, so the changes happening were in the job column, okay. So because this is all automatically by default, it will come. Suppose for example, if you wanted to put something like here, if salary change, you click on dynamic action here, and you can go here and put a name here, like maybe like you can put salary, salary, and you can put DYN, whatever name you wanted to do. See, by default, it is a change event. If you want to change it to key press or a key release, like you will be able to do. By default, it is already selected. So you don't need to do any changes on the when condition. By default, when you are right click, it automatically get selected. Then here you need to do that, where item equal to value or, like equal to value, then you can put salary as, like value is 1,000. So that this is the way the identification of the dynamic action. Then how we are going to, do it in the, like when you click on true and false option, then you need to define what action you want to do. What action is that? Show. Okay, show means display. Okay, so show what? You can see that these two items are listed here. You can see now if you click on here, you will able to like, item, you can put that which item you want to do. So same thing like what is the item name, you need to define here with the comma, because show when job equal to salesman, then two fields need to show, like, okay, one is hire date and commission. That is why it is comma. If you remove it, it will only show hire date only. Okay, so this is the way you will be doing it for the true condition. And hide is basically, it's also a predefined action which is all clearly defined in the list. You will select the hide. In olden days and all, you have to write so many codes like set to property equal to true, false, like that. But here Apex has given a predefined set of actions. You can select the action and then you can see like which one to be hide. So this is like what is basically this form will do is like hide and show and hide. Okay, visible and invisible. Okay, so same thing like you will be selecting the action and doing it. Okay, so let me just go back to the. I just wanted to explain this one when you install this application, so how you can make use of it. Because even I can also show some small example. Then you will able to understand how it is going to be happen. Okay, then here like add and like CSS classes changes, like for example some of the forms you enter some like wrong information, that box will be highlighted with a red color or green color. So this is also, there is a predefined classes also is there. Yeah, they are selecting everything like a interactive or classic reports and showing the example, and it is clearly defined in the form also what to be done. So here, this this is also connected to an employee table and department table. It's already there on the system, or else you can go to the data and you can install that employee and department scripts. Okay, and you will able to see this. So this is what right now is like. Okay, if this page contains one dynamic action called name is equal to null. If anybody is trying to put a name is equal to null, you can see that red color is highlighted here. So this is like a feature which we can educate the end user that okay, there is some mistake, that's why it is showing something like. So this fires when the user leaves the name page item, checks if it is empty. Okay, so and then the border is applied. See, this border is coming with a CSS script. So where you are going to write the CSS scripts, that is also very important. Suppose for example, like, okay, so as I told you, there is a quick edit is that if you click on the quick edit and go to this particular area and click, it will take you to that particular position, so that you will come to know what code it is written behind. Okay, same thing you can copy and paste it for learning purposes. Once you are expert it, then by default it will come. Okay, so here you can see now dynamic action. same thing like what is happening. See, name is null means that doesn't mean that you have to write name is null. It is just like a naming convention to understand basic thing. When you're learning, when you're installing the app, you will be a beginner and you will able to see that what exactly this things. That's why you can put a name also, no problem. Okay, you should not put the name is null. So understanding that if the name is null, what is the classes which we are going to add it here? You can see add a class. See this validation here error, you will able to see it, but where it is written, you don't have any idea, right? So here you can see now, like if you go to the edit of option, okay, in the page, okay. So you will see here, see on the page on the top, okay, the CSS or anything. If you are inline CSS, inline basically like inline CSS, if you wanted to write it, you have to write it on the page level. Okay, page means the beginning. If you click on edit page, you can see that there is an inline CSS. So dot validation error, border color, and this color is there here. You can see now, if you click on it, this is the color. This is a color. If you want to change it to a different color, you can change it to a different color also. So this also, CSS, the colors you will available in the Google, you can get the color, what color you wanted. So this is an inline CSS code, which is written in the beginning of the, in the page, okay. So then what will happen is, now after that, what happens is we have put the inline. Then how to call this inline CSS when you are doing the action, okay? So when name is equal to null, okay, so add class, okay? So name is equal to null, what happens is, you can see here, there is an option called add class in the style, okay? So this is all predefined, okay? Don't confuse that this add class is written by the Oracle. No, it's not like that. It is an action which is predefined in the list. You'll be able to select the add class. So you are adding the class. Then we are putting the validation error. This validation error is the same thing which you have defined in the inline CSS. So validation error class you are calling. Okay, it is like a CSS thing which is written in the edit form. Then you are affected elements. Affected elements basically like you will have a different selecting types like item, button, region, column, jQuery, JavaScript, trigger events, and everything. Items, if you click here, P7 ename, that is a text item name. Okay. Then what is the event it should fire? When name is equal to null. Okay, so name is equal to null. We see this name is null. What is happening is this doesn't make that it is a code. No, it is same like a dynamic action name. Okay, so that's why if you change the dynamic action to name here, then it will come their name. Okay, so here add class and then the remove class. Another thing we are putting it as action remove class. Add a class, adding a class to that particular text item and removing a class from the item. So that means it is displaying an error. If it is no, if name is equal to null, there will be a background color red. Okay, the name is equal to null and fire this thing remove. So this is like how it is very simple. Always you remember right click and create a dynamic action, and we will be doing a small calculator so that you'll be able to understand how it is doing. Then you will be naming a name here. You can put a text here and you can click on show, and you have to define what sort of, if you want to add class, you can click on alert or add class. Then you have to define the class here and item, which item is affected. So this is a way you are going to create CSS and calling in your dynamic action for an item. Okay, so let us move to the other thing. So I'm just explaining this thing. When you are installing it, you should understand where to go, where to find out the code, and then you'll otherwise, if I CSS code, you don't know where it is written, so that you will be whole day you will be searching where is this validation error. Okay, so that is the main reason I just want to educate you all, like where to find out the code and how to replicate the same thing to do the same application. Okay, so now let us go to the next thing is that I add and remove crawlers also. And there is the PLSQL, executing PLSQL code also, dynamic action. So you will be creating some functions and procedures and everything. And all those things you will able to do by your own. Okay, so you can go and check each one. So this is like a set of predefined dynamic action, and you have to install this app, then go to each page and see. You can open another browser and replicate the same thing, how it is working. Okay, so clearly it is defined. You don't need anybody's explanation, or you don't need to Google it, the code or anything. It is already clearly defined in this sample application. So let us now move to a small applications which we can build up. Okay, so I already just do one small application to understand. Okay, so calculator is there here. Okay, so okay, let us check that. Okay, so go back to the application here. So I'm creating a small my calculator. Okay, so you can say that, okay, my app calculator. Okay, so for doing these side of a small exercise, try to understand the concept, do some small exercises and understand that where to write, what to write, like that. Okay, rather going to a big thing and cutting and pasting and confusing the complete thing. Okay, so now we are creating an application. Okay, when you're creating that application, there will be a 3 default pages will be added, like home page, login page, and global page, like that. I'm going to create a page here. I don't want to use any pages which is already there. Okay, so let us go to the blank page. So blank page means it's like nothing will be there, no connection to the database, no connection to the table or field. I'll just put here like my uh, my app. Okay, and I did not select any table or anything. I just want to create a simple page. So this simple page, what will happen is it will create a breadcrumb, no region, no text item, nothing. Okay, it's like a simple page. Okay, if you try to let us try to run it. Okay, so okay, let me just input my password and user. Okay, so here select, sorry, that email address. Okay, this. Okay, so now let us go to the page. So nothing is displayed. Okay, now I'm going to the page item. So I just want to create like a region. Okay, I'll create a region here. Okay, so or in the body, I'll create a region. Okay, so region is added there. Okay, so I'll just put here as my calculator or whatever is there. You can put, okay, calculator. Okay, okay. Now just go. Is the region is created. Now I'm just adding it 2-3 items. One and one more page item, and okay, so 2 page item I added. I have added 2 more, and then I wanted to create another page item. 4 page items I added. Okay, so now you can see that. Now I just go to the name it as like v value 1. Okay, so it is a text field. Let me just change it to number field. Okay, now I'll go to the P2 V2. Now I'll go to the, okay, number field again. So let us go to the next thing, like this should be like I'll put as an operator, hopper. Okay, and now I'll go to the number. Let us say like it's a text field. Okay, let's put the text field. Okay, text field is fine. Now I'll go to the PV3. So now you can see now, like there are one value, second value, then operator and the V3. Okay, let me open this screen. Okay. Okay, so now you can see now, like you will be entering here V1, V2, and see that it is not able to understand the what field it is. Okay, so let us go to this P2 one. I'll put here as enter value 1. Okay, so then it will be more clear. Okay, you can also change this as a label and column by a traditional way. The name will come on the first and the box will display like that. You can do that, but I will also show you how to do that. Okay, so here it's the total, okay, or result, we can say result, okay. So now you will able to see it's the information properly on the screen, like, okay, like enter value 1, and I'm going to put 1 here, and I'll put here 2, and I'll put here operator. We don't know what operator you're going to. So it's a plus, the minus, multiplication and division. So let us create a list which is displaying the operator. And then I should come here automatically 3. Okay, so even this happening is like what happens is when you're selecting the operator, what operator you want. So that we need to create an operator selection to the end user. So let us go to the operator, and I'm going to change it to a select list. Okay, select list. There are different types of types are there. You can develop, you can select whatever types you wanted. Now I'll just go up. There is a red color mark is highlighted here. That means what is happening is it is asking you to put like 3 or 4 different types of types is the share component. Share component, if you have a predefined list in that, you can call that in the share component. SQL query also you can write it and you can put their operator. So if you have a defined operator details in a table, I'll go to static item. So static item means you can predefine it. So here you can put either plus sign and return value will be 1, or you can put add here. That is different, depends upon your need. Okay, so here you can put here like 2, and then it will be multiplication. Okay, then I'll put here 3, and then you will have put a division. It's a 4. So you can see that the end user is going to see add, subtract, multiplication, and division. Okay, and the return value will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now let us go to the OK button. So now you can see now the screen, the end user will able to select it from the list. Okay, I'll put here 100 and 200, and then I'll put here operator add. Then it should add and give you 300. If I put here minus, it will be negative 100, like that. When I'm selecting this option, the value should come here. This is what we are going to do. How it is going to happen? Because when selection means there is some event should happen, and event should check that what condition, what is a operator you have selected, and then you are going to do like this way. Okay, so writing it like better I will go to, because writing, copying it everything again and again. So what I'll do is I'll go to like the same thing which I've created, so that I'll just pick up that, so that it will be like easy for me to explain it. Okay, so now I'm just going here, like, okay, let me just run the my calculator. So the same thing which I have defined it here. So I will tell you, like, same thing operator here. I'm creating an right click and creating a dynamic action. Okay, like this way, and then you will be naming that dynamic action. So same thing what I have did here. You can see that dynamic action here, and true or false by default it is coming. And in this one, I have created operator dynamic, because you can put any name, okay, as per your choice. Okay, then what will happen is by default there is a name which you can put here. I just put it as a display value. You can also put a display, whatever is there, like you can put. This is not a mandatory thing. You can do that. Okay, so here you can see set the value. Okay, so in the action, I'm selecting a set value. What is the set value here? What will happen is setting a value to this last, the result. Result means it's a P2 TXT3. So we have the value 1, value 2 enter. The end user will select the operator. Then depends upon the selection, the result should show in the TXT file. Okay, this is a button. I will explain you later that one. So what I do is in the set value, I will be able to select different types like static assignment, JavaScript, PLSQL expression, SQL expression. So here I am selecting a functional body. Okay, I'm not, if you have a function which is already there in your database, you can call that function. You don't need to write these type of things, okay? So here you can see I'm just writing very simple if condition. Okay, so what I am writing here, it is if P2 operator. P2 operator is that which you are selecting the list, okay, equal to 1. What will happen is, because you have seen that I put add and I put 1, subtract, it's 2, and multiplication is 3, and the division is 4. So there is a value. There are two things in the list item. One is that display value and return value. So return value here, if a user is selecting an add button, add option operator, then 1 will be going it. So the 1, how it is capturing by the system, because 1 is coming and storing in the list that :2 underscore offer is the name of the operator text select list, and equal to 1, then what I'm doing is simple thing, we have to put a return clause, because function and procedure is difference is that function always return a value. If you are not putting a return value, it will throw an error. So here what we are doing is, if P2 plus P2 text1 plus P2 1. So what will happen is the first 2 will be added and it will return a value if it is 1. And at the same time, as you know that PLSQL, there is no E. Else if means there is no E in that. Okay. So else if operate equal to 2, that means it is subscribe. Okay. So then third is like multiplication, and fourth is that division. So that you are writing a logical condition. What is happening is, if the user is selected 1, and please return, add the 2 value, or how you getting the value, because if you are putting a colon denotes that it's it's an item referred in the form. So it will automatically capture the value. Okay. So how, after writing this PLSQL functional body, okay, so then what you have to do is, there are very important thing is that this is very important when you are doing it. Most of the times, like people are failing in this thing. They write the code, but they are clicking on the button, nothing is coming. So then they will just search here and there, what happened. Always remember that the item, because the value you wanted to read it, and coming into the function, you always have a item to be defined in the item to submit. Okay. So P2 text1 is the name of the first item name, second item name, and the operator. So you can see that these are the 3 items which is going to give you the input from the end user. So what will happen is, when you are selecting it, so it throw this 3 item value into the session. Okay, so that this will get the read from the 3 value and inform the function that 3 items, please read the value. And then when you get the value, it will do the function process and it will give you the output. So now let us go to run this form. And here I'm going to give you okay, see, let's say I'll put here as 10 and here as a 20. So here I will just select add. Okay, you can see the result is coming automatically 30. How it is coming? Because add is the display value, but in the background return item would be 1. So the function will execute and it will capture these 3 values, inform the function and display to a third box. Okay, it's 30. So now you can see, okay, let us go to the division. So it will give you a 0.5. And if you go to the multiplication, 200. So you can see when you are selecting these text item, there's a change event is happening. So if you go to this particular item, okay, upper dine, that's a name which is provided by me. So here you can see event is changed. If you are selecting something else, the like a loss focus, then when you are moving that, okay, suppose for example you click also you can change it, double click also you can do that. Is depends upon your choice how you want it, because sometimes what happens is, if the user, so let us say like a user, what will happen is, I don't want it to click anything, I'll just say her 20 moving to this thing and going into this thing, I'm not changing anything, by default it is surprise. Then you need to change the event to loss focus after getting after losing the focus, so you will be getting the result. So here it is like change event, so that's why you are changing, you are getting the value here. See that changing, value is getting, changing, value is getting. So how is this happening? Because in this dynamic action, display value means this is a predefined, it's not a predefined, it's my own. You can also put DT also, no problem. You can put any name. Okay, set the value. Setting the value, set value is basically the value you need to set it to where the third box. And that third box, how the value is coming because of this function. Okay, if you're very good in writing the function in the database, I have created a small function. Okay, so let me just open that open this workshop. Okay, script. Okay, 1 minute. Like let this one, let me move down. Okay, see, I'll just go to the object browser and I'm just opening a tab here. Okay, and then I'll go to the object browser. Let me go to my function. There is a functions which I have written. You all people know that how to write a function. It's very simple. See, I have written a function operator. Okay, there is a function is like, you can write it and call it in the instead of writing the complete if condition here. Okay, so here let me like percentage function add. Okay, so here you can see function. There is a function called operator. Okay, so you can see now this is like basically like adding the plus is coming, but for us it is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let me just check that I have display. I have this one. Okay, so this is the one which I have like written. Okay, so here you can see that fun for max. How to create a function? Okay, it's very simple. Okay, so let me just tell you that you can create a function here. Okay, clicking on the function, you can write any function name here, like a fun add or as a fun my cal, whatever is that. And if you wanted to know how to write also, if you click on sample code, you're able to see also. Otherwise, you can create a function. Okay, and then you will get the basic structure and you can start writing it. Okay, so I don't want to write and waste the time because it's running short of time now. So now, like let's say like I have created a function called this. Same thing, the condition I put it in a procedure in a function. So if operator is equal to 1, so that here there are 3 parameters. One is that V1 is the value which is coming from the first text box. V2 is the second box, and the V operator means whether it's a 1 or 2, whether it's a multiplication, division, or anything. And inside the return number is that the function will return a number. And if operator is equal to 1, return V1 plus V2, V minus, V multiplication, V divided. And this is like a normal simple function which I'm created it. Okay. So understand that, because maybe you might have confused that, okay, like, okay, why should I write if I have a function inside the database? So because of that, I created a button. Okay, button creation, you can see there is a button is there in the form, on the form. Okay, so you can see now I am just, okay, just, like, see now, I am just clicking on add button. Okay, let us say that this is, I'm going to change it. Okay, here I'll check 1 and I'm printing 2, and I'm not touch that list item. So if I touch it, then the change event will fire. I'm just clicking on the result. Okay, result button here. Let us see that whether it's coming or not. Okay, see, result is showing 3 without touching the operator. Operator by default it is add. This result button, I have created a dynamic action and call the function. So let me just go here, quick edit, and go to the item and clicking on this button. So let us go to, oh, sorry, this is like, okay, I'll just go to the page number. Okay, I'm clicking on the result. Okay, so here you can see that create dynamic action. So you creating a button, it's very simple. You can click right and create a button here, and this button you can attach a dynamic action, create a dynamic action, like same thing. So let me just show you how this is happening. I created a button and I named as result underscore show, and label also I put as a change it to result. Okay, then what will happen is, like, you can see, okay, here how this is running is that you can see that action is submit page. You create any button in Apex form, by default the action will be submit page. How the submit page will happen is, When you're clicking on the submit page, you can see on the top, there are small buttons are here. This is like, okay, so if you dynamic actions only you want to see, you can see dynamic actions. You want to see the complete tree of what are the things which you have defined in the region, in the triggers and everything, you can see it. And here the third one is that process. In the process, I have created a process, see, there are two ways I'm explaining. One is that in the dynamic action itself, I define the if condition, everything. The other one is that I have created a function in the backend part in the Oracle database. I created a function and I'm calling the function using a process. So dynamic action is not only for like you can create dynamic action, you can call the process. Dynamic action will call the process and it will execute the functions, everything you can do it. So here what happens is you can create a process like this. You've named anything and then what will happen is default, it will give you an execute code. Okay, this is also name what you can define it. So here you can see that I'm just calling my function for max, which you are seeing just now. I explained that there is a function which is already defined in the table. I'm calling that function and I'm passing the three parameters from my text item. So this is the first text item, second text item, and third text item. Okay, so these are the three values which will go into the function. So function will, what will happen is function will return a value. That return value, where it should go? The third box, the resulted box. So this is a way you can avoid writing if conditions big lengthy code in the pages, to avoid, like when you're loading time, it's too heavy, and it is better to create a function. What is the disadvantages when you are writing a if condition? If any problem in your function or a procedure, you have to all the way come to the application, open the page, and then again rewrite it. So if 20-25 people are accessing your applications, and if anything bugs comes, you have to tell that, okay, please stop, and then I'll go to the application. And no, it's not like that. So you need to write everything on the function and procedure on the background, so that you can go back to your database and change everything automatically to get affected. Because here you are just calling the name. So if anything happen on your functions and procedure, that the end user will not come to know. Maybe a one 10-minute downtime or a few errors will be happening. So then after that refresh it will go, but they will not come to know what is happening. Okay. So here what will happen is the same function, I'm calling it and I am just reading it here. So that is the reason. Like when what happens is in the process, like automatically it will check that is there any process which will be connected to this thing. So you go to the show and submitting page, the process will execute and it will do the actions. Okay. You can see the submit page only. I'm not even calling anything. It will go and check the process by default to the submit button. What are the process hierarchy? It will execute that information, function, and give you that. Same thing like we are writing it two different style. One is that with a change event, and then after that we are clicking on the button here, and it is clicking. The button will connect it to a dynamic action. Submit page automatically go to the process, and it will call the function and it will give you the output. Okay, so this is the way you understand the basic thing. What is where we are writing the dynamic action, how we are going to call and everything. So this is a simple example which I need to explain you all, because you are all new to this. So you will be writing so many dynamic actions and everything in the future application development. Okay. So now let us go to a quick, and then I'll create one more thing, because most of them are SQL thorough in SQL. Maybe you are very weak in PLSQL also. Sometimes like you need to do something on. Okay, so same application. What I'll do is I'll created a page called. Okay, let me just go back. Same application I will open. Okay, so my cal. Okay. See, suppose for example, you wanted to create a simple page, which will be like two boxes will be on the top. One is that you will be entering the employee number and you want to display the employee name from the database. Okay. So I just created a find employee, one same like a HTML simple page. Okay. In that page, I have created a two text items, say like creating a text item like this. Okay. Page item. and I'm creating a page item. So two type page item I've created like this. And then I'm creating a dynamic action on employee number, because when you are entering the employee number, it should check the employee number, receive the employee number, and display to a box called P3 employee name. So here, what will happen is same thing like I created right mouse button and created a dynamic action. In the dynamic action, you are going to create a name for it. This is also, I'm just written like a find employee to understand that what this dynamic action is, okay? Then next is that what will happen is in the to function, I have created a PLSQL block, okay? So this is like, PLSQL block consists of three things like declare, begin, end, and these are the three things, an exception to capture the error handler. Okay, so here I'm writing what I'm writing. It's like a v underscore name variable character 100. Okay, then begin. I'm telling that ename. Please take the ename. Ename is a field in the employee table, and transfer that value to a v underscore name variable from employee where employee equal to what employee number you entered in the first box. So what will happen is if you enter 7369, the 7369 will come and store here. It will go to the employee table and pick up the employee name and display it into the store it in the v underscore variable, and in the below thing I'm writing a return clause. Okay, you might not return this return clause in the PLSQL, but when you are coming into the Apex thing, return clause always required, because when you are coming out from the functional body, you need to write a return clause. Return vname, how it is returning a value to value out from the function. So then this value, what will happen is you can see, as I told you, like you have to be very careful. Item to submit box should be always selected. How many items are you are capturing the value, that many items you need to refer here. Otherwise, it will not give you any output. Okay. Then below you can see affected elements. You can see P3 underscore employee name. So that means what will happen is when you are entering the employee number 7369, it will item will be submitted and the value will be captured, and it will go to the PLSQL block, fetch the name and transfer to a variable, and that variable will be displayed. The variable value we have put a return clause. It will go into the employee name. So that is what is happening here. So let us go and run one sample 7782. Okay, so I'm just putting the. I'll just remove it and I'll put here. See, it's error is coming because I need 7787. Let me see any error. Okay, so it's there is no way because there is no capture. So let me just go to the table and see what is the employee numbers, because I don't remember what employee numbers are there. I think let me just go to the data. Okay, so let us see this guy 7839. Okay, 7839. I'll put here 7839. Okay, so when you are entering and you are coming here, what is the dynamic action is happening here? It is like God focus or lows focus. You can see that when you are moving 7839 enter key, going into that thing and you are getting the king. So let me just go to the quick edit and go to this particular item. You can see here in the department true else, I put a set value. Okay, and the event is what event it is? Lows focus. See that? The event will always be coming then next to the dynamic action identification. You will be defining what event you are going. So what we have writing here? We are writing here like employee number, enter. After that employee number, the cursor is leaving that text item to the employee name. Then you will get a loss focus. Loss focus, who will lose the focus? Employee number field will get the loss focus or loss focus, whatever is that. Then it will come into the employee name and display the clerk there. So this is what we have written. And in the true function, we have written a lengthy, not lengthy, a few lines with that. But this is little bit, like very, that's what I'm saying, that when you are you will be writing a lot of codes in developer. one person will write in 2 lines, another person will write in 3 lines, and another person will write 5 lines, but the output will be same. But the problem is, where it will be a problem is that the application performance, will be affected, okay? And when the data grows, then the data and all those things will be get affected. So for a time being, okay, you will be happy that you are getting everything. Okay, this is the way you are writing. But when you come to the real application, enterprise application development, you have to be very, try to avoid too many codes and, overloaded the application. Try to simplify your thing and try to get the output. Okay. So this is one example. Same example, if I'm going to do it, I will be doing in a different way. So you can see now there is a display button below. Same thing like what we have done for the max calculator. You will able to see here like new and display button. I'm just creating a dynamic action. In the set value, I am just writing a simple select statement. I solve this problem. Just now, you have seen like, 4, 5 different code, declare, begin, return, everything. It's a very simple thing. But only the thing is you have to be remember, because you see here now, if you go to the dynamic action, here you will be selecting the PLSQL functional body. When you're creating a functional body, you need to write a return clause, you need to write so many things. But when you come to the select statement in the set value, I'm not selecting the PLSQL functional body. I'm selecting only the SQL statement, simple SQL statement. You will be writing here what we are writing, very simple thing what we are writing, select star from employee where blah, blah, blah. So here you can see select employee name, name from employee, where employee number equal to colon P3 underscore employee number. So what will happen is this P3 employee will capture the number which you are inputting into the text box, and this is reading it, but where it is going, reading and affecting to employee name. Okay, so how it is affecting, because in the dynamic action new how it is happening here, which event is this? Before it was loss focus, here it is button. There is no loss focus button. You can see that click event. When the button is pressed, then button is pressed, what action will do? It will go here and it will set the value. See that you can see now, I have just, I did not put any name here for when you're writing these type of things, you understand what to be, like display. So you can put a proper name to understand later. Okay. Otherwise, what happens? So you will not forget after some time. So you will say, okay, it will expand like this, and you don't know what exactly this if you don't have a name. Will pun V1, V2, like it's very difficult to understand. So you can put a proper name to understand that this dynamic action is built up or connected to, it's connecting to a what purpose. Okay, so that is the reason we are putting it like a display name. Then what will happen is that item is affected, set the value for what value, and p name. And how this p name is getting the set value, because we have, like defined here, okay, here like a SQL statement. Okay, so this is the way there are 2 types you can write it. That doesn't mean that you have to write block, declare, the begin and everything, or maybe a simple select statement. So this is the way the dynamic action will help you to do your logical or like functional process you want to you want to attach to the applications, depends upon your or your client's requirement, or like a project requirement. You will able to do that. So my advice is that you can go to the sample application, install it, and open in another browser and do the same thing like 2-3 times, and understand that how the concept, how the dynamic action can be called and how we are be selecting. Because in a class, maybe I'm just showing everything, but see that if you are clicking on this one, you will be getting something else, and if you're clicking on here, you will be getting something else. But when I'm teaching, it's very simple and easy, because I'm also doing every day this thing, so that I know where to go, what to go. But you have to check, where the step by step. That's why I'm not, explaining like a very, a big code and, like, okay, write this. No, you should be like understand the simple and, like understand the concept properly, then you will able to do it. Okay. So now anyway, like, you try it. If you have any doubt or anything, please let me know. and I will able to help you. But this is like, a few more couple of sections will be coming, and we are going to wind up by 31st of January, and you all get the official certificate from INOG organization. And then you will, if you wanted to do a projects, small projects or something, I'm happy to assist you all, and we can do a small project, and maybe I can help you to, create a small project, whatever your requirement, I will able to help you. Okay. I hope that you have enjoyed today's topic. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. 5 minutes is there, or else I'm just ending up the section. So next couple of sections are coming in, maybe Monday, Tuesday. I will inform you in our WhatsApp, okay, group. Thank you. Any doubt? Any doubt or anything? You will able to. Okay, I think hope that all are understood then. Okay, so see you next section. Thank you very much for joining today. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
John. Thank you, everyone. Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.